Hi everyone. We're doing a Wellbeing Hour once again. This is something we brought in at Space to Breathe at the start of the first lockdown, and uh, kind of feels appropriate to start thinking about it now. The idea is just to create a little bit of space in your day to reflect on your well-being. This is a recording of it, so it's going to be a little bit kind of like quicker than we do normally. So it's not going to be an hour, which is the first kind of misnomer to it. The second thing is we really want to try and find out the right time to do it. So I'd love to hear, and I'm going to put a little poll probably on my Facebook page about when the best time to do this is. Maybe it's an after kids have gone to bed in the evening thing. Maybe it's a daytime thing. Maybe it's a morning thing. Maybe you quite like it recorded like this and you can just access it whenever you like. We're open to any of those things. Just going to give you a few little things that you can do that can help you reflect on your well-being right now. And I want to use a couple of metaphors that we've certainly used in our work before to start off with. Why are we doing a well-being hour? Because life feels very unpredictable. This is the way we've tried to describe it. We made a little snow globe out of a Kilner jar, some glitter, some water, and it feels like this keeps happening. And then again, each day somebody's shaking up my life and changing how I feel about things, or changing what my perspective on my work or my home life or my social life is. Well, there's another set of restrictions and things get changed again. We've all probably gone through, what am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do? And it just feels like this keeps happening. And of course, you look after time, rhythms begin to form, and you can begin to make sense of things. But if all that happens is it just keeps getting shaken up and shaken up, it's very hard to do that and to find any clarity. So you might feel like that right now. How do we cope with that? How do we manage that? Or maybe you feel a bit like this. Stress in itself actually is a very natural, normal thing. It's how our body recognizes to protect ourselves. But it's when stress gets elongated and the real kind of tension begins to happen, that's when stress is unhelpful. And maybe that's how it feels right now. It just feels that everything's been a little bit stretched. And how can we release that kind of tension? Well, there are lots of different tools that we can use. But I've found over time the most important thing that we can do to start with is just to become self-aware. And so just going to try something here with you to see how that works. I want to start by having a think about how you feel. Carl Rogers said that the amazing paradox about human beings is the moment we accept ourselves fully as how we are, that's the moment when we can change. It feels counterintuitive. And the moment we nail down, well, this is where I am, it becomes an awful lot easier to see what might become of that or where we might go with that. Let me share this with you. When you think for a moment about how you're doing, and come up with single words. Get a piece of paper and a pen out. Write some things down. How has this time been for you? Just think of single words. Don't go for sentences and long paragraphs, just single words. And be quite reactive to it. What's work or life been like? What stresses and pressures are you feeling at the moment? Just try and think of a bunch of single words that help describe that. It's quite hard when we're restricted in sentences, but what I'm trying to do is just get at something a little bit deeper than the norm. So think about single word responses to those questions. How has this time been for you? What has work or life been like? What stresses and pressures are you feeling right now? Just recognizing those words, it can be a little bit like cars going along a road. I don't want you to intervene right now, but just become aware of them. Just see them for what they are. See the things that are around you, the words you associate with this kind of time, what it's been like for you. Somebody wise said, we're not all in the same boat, but we are in the same storm. Or maybe we're not even in the same storm. There's some very subjective, individual, personal things about our circumstances right now. Some things feel very, very, very different. So what's it been for you? Depends what sector you're in or what kind of work you're doing. And that exercise hopefully might get you some sort of word cloud of things that you feel. Take some time to have a look at those. Become aware of them. Notice, is there anything that surprises you? Anything that is really expected? Did you know about all those things that you feel to answer those questions? I wonder if you're a sort of person who does like look and have a think about how you feel, or whether you find that helpful always. The exercise here is not for us to get fixated on them, but just to see them for what they are. And here's another way that we can do that. I guess a non-verbal way, because we don't always think in words and paragraphs. So this is a little idea called a story sphere. Take a piece of paper and draw a circle. And then inside the circle, express all your thoughts, feelings, and ideas about the stress you feel, but without words. So draw a circle, and inside it, start to write. I'm going to put some music on, and then in a few minutes, just check back with me and see what you think, what you've written. So you might just be finishing off your circle, just carry on, take as long as you like. But in a moment, I'm going to ask you to look again and to see what you notice. So I wonder how you found that exercise. This is what I came up with, and I'm always amazed. I do this quite a lot, how everything always looks a bit different. But I like that I can't use words, and so I try and communicate and allow things to come out. And sometimes it's the strength of how you write on the pen, on the page rather, that is as indicative as what you put. Sometimes it is just doodling, and actually there's lots of studies to suggest that doodling is a great way for us to receive information, but also for us to hear ourselves and to process something called self-generated cognition, the inner monologue, if you like, that you have going on inside you. But you might notice that drawing draws out different things, different emotions. But you might also notice themes, feelings. I was quite intrigued that I drew a little picture of oh, sorry, there you go. Oh no, I'm doing that very badly. There you go, him. Picture of a little man holding a lot of boxes. I've never put that on one of my story spheres before. But that kind of, it's a way of expressing emotions in a deeper way, in a different way. So we use these quite a lot, just as a way of putting your finger on the pulse and just saying, well, how am I doing? How am I feeling right now? What's going on in me? And a little bit like that words exercise, it gives you a sense of what you know, being aware of what's inside you. Cars on the road, if you like. And over time, you might begin to pick up themes. What surprises you that's there? What's different? What other things that you're recognizing are coming up a fair amount? And then you can begin to think, what might I do about that? And here's another way to think about self-awareness and can kind of add to that kind of process. I'm always a big believer in good questions. And so here's two. What's been positive or encouraging for you in the last few weeks? What are the challenges you're facing? Now, obviously, I'm recording this, so we can't have a conversation about that, but that's what we'll often do in these wellbeing hours. But maybe you want to put on the Facebook page this is on, just some comments of what you think, what's been positive or encouraging, and what are the challenges you're facing. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just stick it in a comment. And why do I ask both those things? Because there's a danger, at least for me, that I can get lost in one section of those two questions. The challenges, the things that are on top of me, the boxes I'm carrying. But actually drawing out gratefulness can really help us to see life in a slightly different way. And there are positives, even though there are really big, overwhelming at times challenges that we're also facing at this difficult time. There are positives too. And we might need to search and find them, but searching them out gives us hope, and it gives us life, and it creates light for us. And it gives us a little bit of time to ponder and think. I was trying to think how to explain this, and I ended up just thinking about this. These are my Nepalese prayer chimes, and they work on resonance. So the sound elongates. So have a listen. It's only just stopped now. Now you could be mistaken but understandably mistaken to think that just the sound is just the impact. And that's we might look at life and just think we just see the impact. We just see that. But there's always a resonance that comes after it, a vibration, a sound wave that comes after it. And it's got nuance to it. And actually, it's worth listening to the whole thing. And it becomes more. And if we listen to the whole thing of life right now, we will find both positives and encouragements and challenges. And that can help us, can help lift us. So why don't you take some time to have a think about that question? Let me show it up on the screen once again. What's been positive or encouraging in this recent time, and what are the challenges you're facing? And as I say, if you come and join us for a Wellbeing Hour, we'd have a discussion like that. The last part of the Wellbeing Hour is a little meditation. Kind of felt like the biggest gift I can give all of you right now is a little bit of peace and quiet. So we're going to do a breathing exercise. It's going to have some music behind it, and it's just going to give you a chance to be still. So before we get into this, get yourself comfortable on your chair. Feel your back on the back of your chair. Feel your bum on the seat. And just body scan yourself before we get started. Become aware of what things you're feeling, aches and pains, stresses. And we're going to work through that at the beginning of this meditation. And we're going to think about our breathing. And we're going to deliberately slow our breathing. And then we're going to use breathing just as a picture of something specific to help us. So get yourself comfortable. I'm going to put a slide on the screen, and then we'll get started. So just to begin with, just in your chair, scan all the way from your head to your toes. And where you become aware of anything strained or sore or stiff, just loosen it out as much as you're able to, obviously without hurting yourself. Just try and become as relaxed as you can. Our bodies carry stresses and strains, so when you can see them and feel them, just loosen them out. And just go down all the way down your spine, to your legs, all the way down to your toes. Just try as much as you can to just relax yourself. Feel your feet on the ground. I'd like you to become aware of your breathing and begin to notice your breathing. Simple in and out breaths. Just begin to breathe in a very relaxed manner. Don't stress or strive to make your breathing slower or more regular than normal. Just find a natural rhythm. When you're breathing in, begin to think about just sucking in the air particles. taking in physical air particles, and as you're taking them in, imagine them going into your lungs expanding and then being absorbed into your bloodstream, going all the way around your body. Find a nice relaxed rhythm of breathing in and then of exhaling. Maybe imagine yourself blowing a feather across the table. Just relaxed breathing, and that exhale just gently blowing a feather, just a little bit each time. And just find a rhythm that feels comfortable to you. And try and relax as much as you can. Breathing's this thing that we've done since the beginning of our lives. That first scream is our first breath. We don't often do this consciously, but this is the very life of us. Oxygen being circulated around our body, getting where it needs to go. And even as we breathe out, we contribute to our environment. So I'm just going to let the music play for a minute or two more. Just allow that breathing rhythm to just continue very gently. Now as you're breathing, I want you to begin to think about something. And you can either choose something on the inward breath or something on the outward breath, or a bit of both. So as you breathe in, I want you to think, what do I need today? It can be mundane and practical. It can be a big ask. It can be whatever comes to your mind when you think about that question. What do I need today? Maybe it's a hug. Maybe it's a new piece of work that you really need to come through. Maybe it's energy or imagination or a good night's sleep, a cup of tea. Just to think about what do you need, and on that inward breath, as you breathe in, almost imagine breathing in what you need. As you breathe in, your body is receiving what it needs. So you think in that inward breath about what is it that I need, and reflect on that. Maybe on the outward breath, think about what can I give? What are the ways that I can contribute to my community, that I can support people around me, that I can give in the way that I work, or the things that I'm doing, or the place which I'm opening, or the service that I'm providing, or in my family life, or to my friends. So on the inward breath, have a think about what do I need. On the outward breath, have a think about what can I give. I'm going to put some music on for a couple of minutes more, and just to let you reflect on that. Just the last minute or so of this reflection, just recap, just think about what is it that you need as you've been breathing in. Is there any way you can share that with someone? Is there any way anybody can help you with that? If it's something Space to Breathe can help you with, in which case give me a shout. But think about those things that you've thought about, and anybody that can journey with you, can walk with you as you look for those things. Can you ask? And then on thinking about what can I give, are there any ways that you can actually make that happen? That you can give and support to each other, to somebody else, your community. Do something, contribute something in what you do that helps. Many of you are already doing that, I know. Just take a last minute with that, focus again on your breathing, and then we'll just come into land. So hopefully that has been a helpful time. And as I say, on wherever this has been shared, just let me know if you'd like to join in with something like this, when it might be helpful, what format would be best. But let me just recap what we've done and looked at. So we've considered this is going on right now. We keep getting shaken up. And it's hard to keep track and to find those kind of rhythms. And we've reflected that we're feeling elongated, stretched by everything, and that it's hard to find a way to release some of that tension. So we've looked at self-awareness as a way of beginning that journey with words. How am I doing? What's it like right now? With the story sphere, drawing a circle, non-verbally expressing what you feel. With those questions of what's positive and encouraging and what's challenging, recognizing just like the resonance of these bells. But it's not just the initial impact, but the whole thing that's worth listening to. And then we've just spent a little bit of time considering, what do I need and what can I give? And all of these reflections are like seeing these emotions, these feelings, becoming aware of them. And then you can begin to think, well, do I want to do something about that? Or is there any way that I might act? If any of that interests you, can find out more about all those things on the Space to Breathe website. But otherwise, we hope to see you really soon. And if there's ways that we can help you, please let us know. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.